This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Thursday, May 1st. First up, the smart TV factor, what growing connected TV listens means for podcasting. 8% of podcast consumers primarily use a smart TV. While it might not sound like much, it's significant enough to draw attention to. When filtering just to smart TV primary users, a different kind of user begins to form than one might have immediately presumed, given the growth of video podcasting. 39% of them usually expect a podcast to be audio, but it may be video. 26% presume a podcast could be either format. Smart TV podcast users aren't necessarily video-focused absolutists. The data in the advertising landscape suggests they're pragmatists who use whatever screen is handy to queue up a podcast. Tom Webster ends up with 4 thoughts for podcasting to mull over on how they can best play to the strengths of growing smart TV usage, including consideration of the 55-plus demographic, who largely only engage with digital media via smart TVs, and optimizing podcasts for device switching so audiences who jump from phone to car to TV can enjoy doing so. Next up, U.S. ad spending jumped 7.8% in March, led by digital growth. According to guideline data, as the headline said, U.S. ad market increased 7.8% year over year for March, an upgrade from February's growth rate of just 2.4%. Their U.S. ad market tracker finds digital continues to be the fastest growing segment, with U.S. ad spend in digital growing 13.4% year over year. Now for another top story, LinkedIn wants a bigger slice of the creator economy. A new slate of 5 original shows from business-focused creators, including Diary of a CEO host Stephen Bartlett, are kicking off on LinkedIn. The new focus on producing and distributing video content comes as big names like Spotify and YouTube have been courting big-name content creators for exclusive content. Mondo Metrics founder Nick Cicero told Business Insider the best path forward is quality over quantity. Engagement bait wouldn't achieve much in the LinkedIn ecosystem, as that platform doesn't work for content seeking 1 million views. It works for content trying to reach the right 10 decision makers. For our final top story, SAG-AFTRA plans to invite influencers into its ranks. The Screen Actors Guild recently held a meeting in which the union's board unanimously approved a recommendation to establish a committee for digital influencers and content creators. This is a step towards bringing content creators into the fold of the biggest actor union in the country. A potential full circle, as the big SAG work stoppage back in 2007 jump-started the modern understanding of content creation, both with struck creators making their own content. An example of this would be Joss Whedon's Dr. Horrible sing-along blog series with Neil Patrick Harris, as well as amplifying viewership of existing web series, such as Felicia Day's The Guild, which had launched just before the strike started and then found a whole new audience. The new National Influencer and Digital Creator Committee will be chaired by Instagram photographer Patrick Janelle. Now, before I get into quick hits, it's time once again for co-working. This is a recurring feature in the download where I highlight some of the folks working in the business of podcasting. If you'd like to toss your hat into the ring for a future edition of this, there is a link in the newsletter version of today's issue. Today, I'd like to spotlight Joni Deutsch from the Podglomerate. When it comes to industry misconceptions, she commonly encounters if you build it, they will come mentalities, as well as instant gratification goals like 1 million downloads on series launch day. Podcasting works its best when properly planned out with cross-platform strategies, as podcast success rarely happens overnight. For indispensable tools, she points to Slack channels and email listservs as valuable sources of networking, and highlights AIR's Audio Communities and Groups resource, which is also hyperlinked in the newsletter. For Joni's full interview, including the Podglomerate's list of industry events, you can catch the full piece on Sounds Profitable in the Insights section. As for the rest of the news, yesterday marked the 50th anniversary of Reunification Day in Vietnam, and John Wardock's newsletter has gathered 4 recommendations of podcasts where one can learn more about the history of the Vietnam War. Pod News reports the Gilded Audio podcast Snafu with Ed Helms is now a book, with Snafu, the definitive guide, hitting store shelves. CNN Audio has launched a new series dubbed The Account from CNN. The first season will follow Donnie O'Sullivan's investigation into the rise of modern conspiracy theories. The IAB has a new live virtual training for digital audio titled Audio 360, The Evolution of Audio and Podcasting. This paid training session is slated for July 16th, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Limited seats are available, I'm told, so. And finally, Spotify is kicking off a localized awards ceremony with the Spotify Podcast Awards in Mexico, recognizing podcasts across 10 categories with nominees selected by Spotify based on listener data and critical acclaim in 2024. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to get the newsletter version. The download is written and produced by myself, Brian Barletta, and Tom Webster. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us again tomorrow.